Welcome to Holly's Quiet Harbor. Take a deep breath and let your mind begin to rest. Tonight, imagine an old room at the edge of evening. The light is low and golden, resting gently on the floorboards. Dust moves slowly in the air, not hurried, not disturbed, simply floating where the last rays of day can see it. In the center of the room sits an old piano. It has been quiet for many years. Its varnish is cracked and weathered. The wood beneath has been hidden under layers of age, neglect, and time. Some of the keys are loose. Some are yellowed. A few no longer rise when pressed. Inside, the strings are rusted and slack, stretched between silence and memory. And yet, something beautiful is still here. Underneath this cracked, weathered varnish lies a masterpiece waiting to breathe again. You may know that feeling. The feeling of being covered over by too much noise, too many expectations, too many screens, too many opinions, too many unfinished things, layer after layer, until the song inside you feels distant. Not gone, only hidden. So tonight, we begin the quiet work of restoration. Not by rushing, not by forcing, but by slowing down enough to notice what's still there to save. Take a slow breath in and let it go. The room is quiet. The piano waits, and you are safe here. You don't have to perform. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to become someone new tonight. You are simply being invited back to what has always been true beneath the worn surface. The first thing we notice is the varnish. It is uneven now, faded in some places, cracked in others. It once protected the wood, but over time, it is hardened into something that no longer serves the instrument. And perhaps you've carried layers like that too. Old ways of coping, old expectations, old pressure to be pleasing, productive, available, impressive, strong. At one time, these layers may have helped you to get through. They may have protected you. They may have helped you keep going when life asked too much. But not every protective layer is meant to remain forever. Some must be softened, some must be loosened. Some must be gently stripped away. So imagine taking a soft cloth and wiping the surface of the piano. Slowly, carefully. There's no hurry. The cloth passes over the old wood again and again, gathering dust, lifting what has settled there. With each pass, imagine releasing one layer from your own spirit. The need to answer every message immediately. The pressure to be endlessly available. The belief that rest must be earned. The habit of carrying everyone else's emotions as if they belong to you. The old fear that if you stop, everything will fall apart. Let the cloth move slowly. Let the dust lift. Let the surface begin to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Now the work goes deeper. A restorer brings out fine sandpaper, soft enough not to harm the wood, steady enough to smooth what has grown rough. The motion is rhythmic, back and forth, back and forth. Not scraping, not punishing, not trying to erase the piano's history, only revealing what time has covered. And beneath the damaged varnish, the mahogany begins to appear, warm, resilient, alive with grain and depth. It was there all along, just hidden. As the wood emerges, imagine your own inner self emerging too. Not the version shaped by constant comparison, not the version trying to keep up, not the version bracing for criticism. The deeper self, the quieter self, the one that knows what feels true, the one that remembers wonder, the one that can still be moved by beauty, the one that does not need to shout to be real. Back and forth, the sanding continues, and with every gentle motion, something false loosens. A role you're tired of playing. A worry that never helped you. A harsh thought repeated so often, it began to sound like truth. The story that said you were too late, too behind, too broken, too much, or not enough. Let the old finish fall away. Let the hidden grain show through. You're not being destroyed. You're being revealed. The piano is not becoming valuable because it is restored. It was valuable before the work began. The restoration simply helps others hear what was already inside. And so it is with you. Now, the lid is lifted. Inside, the piano is intricate. There are hammers, strings, dampers, pins, felt, wood, tension, and space. So much has been working beneath the surface. So much has been waiting. The restorer presses one key. A dull, uneven sound answers. Not wrong, just out of alignment. Another key sticks and gives no sound at all. And instead of frustration, there is tenderness, because every silent place has a reason. Every stuck key has a history. Every note that will not sound is asking to be met with patience. Imagine that your daily interactions are these keys. The way you answer a message, the way you speak to yourself in the mirror, the way you move through a grocery store, a classroom, a meeting, a kitchen, a difficult conversation. Some days, your keys respond easily. Other days, they stick. Other days, even kindness feels hard to reach. But tonight, there's no shame in that. There is only repair. One by one, the keys are removed, cleaned, realigned. Old dust is brushed away. Small adjustments are made. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just careful attention. And perhaps that is what healing often is. Not a grand transformation, but one small alignment at a time. A little more honesty here, a little more rest there, a little more space before responding, a little more courage to say no, a little more gentleness when you're tired. One key at a time, one breath at a time, one small return to harmony. Breathe in slowly and breathe out. Now the restorer turns to the hammers. These are the hidden parts that strike the strings and make the sound possible. They are worn in places. Some are hardened, some are uneven, some no longer meet the strings cleanly. And this too may feel familiar, because what lives inside us affects the sound we make in the world. If we are exhausted, our words may come out sharper than we meant. If we are afraid, our silence may grow heavy. If we are overwhelmed, even love may feel difficult to express. So, the hammers are softened, adjusted, set back into right relationship with the strings. Not so they can strike harder, but so they can speak more honestly. Imagine your inner mechanisms being tended with that same care. The part of you that reacts too quickly, the part of you that shuts down, the part of you that over-explains, the part of you that tries to earn affection by never needing anything. No part of you is rejected here. Each part of you simply understood, adjusted, given a more peaceful way to move. Now we come to the strings. They are old and rusted. Some are too loose to hold a tone. Some are too tight, strained from years of pressure. The restorer knows this is delicate work. Too loose, and the note cannot speak clearly. Too tight, and the string may snap. So tuning is an act of balance, a turn of the pin, a listening pause, another tiny adjustment, another pause. That is the tension of becoming whole. Not the kind of tension that harms, but the kind that gives your life shape. Healthy boundaries, gentle discipline, sacred rhythms, enough structure to support you, enough softness to let you breathe. You're not meant to live slack and disconnected from your own purpose. And you're not meant to live so tightly wound that every small touch feels like danger. You are allowed to find your pitch, your balance, your clear, steady tone. Imagine each string being tuned. A string for rest, a string for courage, a string for truth, a string for patience, a string for joy, a string for forgiveness, a string for the version of you that is still learning how to be kind to yourself. Each one tightened only as much as needed. Each one listened to. Each one honored. The room goes quieter as the work continues. Outside, the evening has deepened. The world beyond the windows carries on with all its noise and speed. But in this room, time has become gentle. Here, there is only wood, breath, hands, listening, repair. And perhaps this is what your spirit has needed. Not more information, more pressure, or another demand to improve yourself, but a quiet place where someone listens closely enough to help you come back into tune. At last, the piano is ready. The wood has been revealed. The keys have been aligned. The hammers have been softened. The strings have been tuned. There are still marks of age, of course. Small scratches, subtle dents, places where time left its signature. But those marks do not ruin the instrument. They deepen it. They make it particular. They make it real. The restorer sits before the piano. For a moment, nothing happens. There is only silence. Then, one hand lowers gently onto the keys. A single note sounds, clear, warm, uncertain at first, then steady. Another note joins it, then another, and soon a chord fills the room. Not loud, not dramatic, but whole. The sound seems to move through the floorboards, through the walls, through the old dust and golden light. It is not the sound of perfection. It is the sound of return. The song was never gone. It was waiting beneath the layers. Waiting beneath the fatigue. Waiting beneath the pressure. Waiting beneath the silence. And now, softly, it begins again. Let yourself rest in that chord. Let it move through you. Let it remind you that renewal does not always arrive like thunder. Sometimes it arrives as one honest note. One repaired place. One softened breath. One small moment when you realize you are not beyond restoration. You are a masterpiece in progress, still resonant, still worthy, still capable of music. And now, the piano plays gently into the evening, each note carrying the memory of what was repaired, each chord holding the beauty of what endured. And as you listen, imagine the song inside you becoming clearer. The sound moves through the room like warm light. It tells your body it can soften. It tells your mind it can release the day. It tells your heart it does not have to stay braced. You may rest now. The work of restoration does not have to be finished tonight. It's enough that it has begun, that one layer has lifted, that one string has been tuned, that one quiet note has returned. Breathe in and breathe out. Let the last chord linger. Let the silence after it be peaceful. This is the resonance of renewal. the calm after repair, the stillness that does not mean emptiness, but wholeness. And as the room grows dim, the old piano rests in the corner, no longer forgotten, no longer silent, still old, still marked, still beautiful, and filled with music again. So are you. Rest now. The song inside you is safe, and when the time is right, it will rise gently, clearly, beautifully.